Hi, welcome. My name is Svannah, and this is going to be a recap of what I did in January. So I have 2 finished objects, quite a bit of whips still, and yeah, I was just checking my spreadsheet over here. That's what I was looking at, my spreadsheet, to show me what I have finished. I didn't start anything new. I was going to, but I kind of just decided against it since I already have so many things on the needles right now. I'm just going to wait a little bit longer, I think, before I start anything new. I don't have all my whips here to show you. 2 of them are downstairs in the living room, and I didn't make a lot of progress on them. So let me go ahead and show you the 2 things that I finished in the beginning of January first. Okay, so I believe the last video, like whip showing video anyways, I was working on my Fenn cardigan by Trin Annelie, and I have finished it. I actually finished it on January 5th. So I got it done right before I had to go back to work after Christmas break, winter break, whatever you want to call it. So I got it done the night before, which was great. I was quite thankful to have that off my needles, and I didn't have to worry about it while going back to work. This was a interesting knit. The test knit went really well. Oh, I should say the pattern was released actually on Friday. So 2 days ago, the pattern was released on Ravelry, so you can get it. It's the Fenn cardigan. It has this wonderful hood that is huge. This hood is huge. Massive. And I knit it exactly to what the pattern said. So just be aware of that. But it was very easy to knit. It's I believe, if I can remember right, yeah, you're knitting back and forth like this, and then you Kitchener stitch the top. So there's no short rows, no nothing like that. So it's Kitchener stitch at the top, and then after that you pick up the button band, which that was something else. So this is a steeked cardigan, but there's fluffies everywhere. But when you pick up this side for the button band, you pick up this side, and then she tells you to get another set of needles, and you're going to pick up those pieces on this side. Granted, when I did this, it was very difficult and my numbers didn't match up, so I just kind of made it work. Everything looks well, even though I had to do some decreasing, I think. Decreasing on my picked up stitches. But yeah, it encases your steek really nicely. I believe, from what I read in the updates, is that, and there might be a video too now, she explains that when you go to pick up this side, you actually have that needle now so that you can wrap the yarn around that needle so that you have exact same amount of stitches on both sides. So it encases. It's like this little stockinette that goes this way that encases your steek, so no loose ends at all. And then from there you do ribbing and buttonholes, and I put these toggles on there, and they go all the way up to the top right here under your neck. So yeah, it's very nice. Turned out a great length for me. I love it. I've worn it a few times. Very cozy. So the yarn that I used is Durare Natura Gilead in a black, the medium gray, which I think is called Goland, the white, and then like this plummy pink. I could not tell you all the names. They're in my Ravelry. They're in my Ravelry project page if you are interested. But they're all in like French. names, so I am not good at pronouncing French words that I have not heard before, so I don't want to attempt to pronounce them. But yeah, I don't know if it changed in the pattern, but the chart for the sleeves was a little bit difficult for me, only in the sense that I had to figure out where I was in the chart every time I did a decrease in the sleeve. So the pattern's not meant to match up, and that's why there's like she puts a faux seam in it, like a purl stitch at the beginning of each row to be like a faux seam, so that it takes care of the pattern not matching up. But the way that the chart is written, you're constantly having to shift where the beginning of the round is after every decrease. So if that hadn't been changed, just be forewarned. The body's a little bit easier because you're not doing any decreases. You're always starting at the same point of the chart. So that was the only, I guess, difficult thing, other than, like I said, when I went to go pick up this button band, that was a little difficult, but I think the instructions are better written now. But yes, the charts. So yeah, I mean, I don't know what else to say about this. Again, it is released now, so you can get the pattern if you are interested. And I really like it. It's so cozy. But I'm not wearing it today because I wanted to wear my other sweater. It's actually supposed to be almost 60 degrees Fahrenheit here today. Quite warm, so I don't know how much longer I will be in my cozy sweater. It's like a boucle. All right, so that's one finish. And then shortly after I finished that, I don't know what, I got a mini bug to start something. And it was so quick. Like, I meant to just start it. So I guess I did have one new start in January. I meant to just start it, set it down, and, you know, come back to it at like a later time or something like that. Well, I started it and nearly finished it on that day. Like, I didn't start it in the morning. I started in the afternoon and had almost all of it finished by the evening, which is crazy. And then the next day it took me almost all day to finish it, which was crazy, but I did. I finished it. So it took me 2 days to knit the Harris hood by Coco Amour knits. I'm not entirely sure what her name is, but I think it was Coco Amour. But it's called the Harris hood, so you can just look that up. So yeah, so you cast on here, and I was like, I just figured I'd do this part and then set it down, but no, like, then there was picking up, and I did that, and then the next thing I knew, I was down to the increases for the neck, and then I was to the ribbing. So I got like the first 2 rows of ribbing done and went to bed. So I woke up in the morning, finished the ribbing, which you can see is just barely anything, and then did the tubular sewn bind off. I can't remember which one I did, but one of those. Did that, and then what was next was picking up the stitches around, and all you have to do is knit ribbing for a while and then, you know, fold it in and attach it. I went one extra step and did an I-cord drawstring. This is not part of the pattern. I added that myself because I thought that would be a cute touch. Let me get this on so you can see. I absolutely love this thing, and I will tell you about the yarn in just a minute, what I used. But I love this thing. So it's great. Like, I don't typically tighten it though, but yeah, great. And then I usually actually just wear it like a cowl for most of the time. It is so lovely, and I think it's because of my yarn choice. This yarn is something I spun up myself last year, 2025. This is a fiber I got from a store called Everything Alpaca in Castle Rock, Colorado. This was I can't remember because I think I lost the label, which makes me a little sad. I kept it for a while to attach to the skein that I spun up, and then I must have cleaned up and thrown it away. But this was like a baby alpaca, and if you can see, there was like little bits of, I think, silk, and there's also Angelina in it. There's a sparkle. I don't think you're gonna be able to see it. Not really. There is a very faint sparkle thread throughout as well. So it's very pretty, and it's so soft, so drapey, so absolutely love it. And I used the entire thing. It was a 6-ounce bundle of fiber that I bought, and it was already very thin, like the way they had it prepped would look like a skein, it looked like one of these kinds, you know, like fisherman's wool, the big long one, like a Red Heart bullet type skein of yarn. It looked like that, but it was just very thin, like roving, and so it was super easy to spin up. I did a 2-ply. It was 6 ounces. I never got the yardage or anything like that. Probably a DK weight, sport to DK weight, and it knit up absolutely wonderful. I think I hit gauge, to be honest, because I didn't do a gauge swatch. I just started knitting this and then checked it. This was such a wonderful knit. I really liked it. It'd been on my radar for a little bit, and I'm glad I just bit the bullet and just started it, because it went by so fast, and it is one of my favorite things in the whole world. So I think I need to make another hood. I just don't know what yarn. And if it took 6 ounces of fiber, I know it's going to be more than one normal skein of yarn. So lovely. So that was like a spontaneous cast on and finish. Other than that, nothing else has been finished, which is a little disappointing, but again, I'm working on it. So I kind of had like no direction for the rest of the month. I was just like, okay, let's just, like, at first I was like, oh, well, let's work on my winter chunky jacket by Gray Level Knitter. Let's see how much we can get. Let's try to get the body done this month. But then some days I would like decide to work on something else, or this was just not what I wanted. I didn't want to bring this around the rest of the house. So I did get a little bit finished. I would say 1.5 inches from my little toast down, about 1.5 inches maybe. So not much. I still have a few more rows to go. I have to get this motif finished. So I'm just about halfway. I think I have one more row to do, and then that'll be halfway through this motif before the body is done. And then I have all the other stuff, the neck, the sleeves, the button band, the pockets. Yeah, I still have a ways to go. So I'm assuming that I won't have this ready until next winter, which is a little disappointing. I started this early enough to have it done for this winter season, but I burnt out on it. I went ham, and it's massive. This is a double knitted boucle, really oversized jacket. Color work. I mean, I'm holding 2 strands of each color of boucle. It's a lot. It's slow knitting. So I'm going to keep going so that I can have it for next winter. I'm not going to put it off or I'm going to try not to put it off, because I do want this. So I got a little bit done on that. Nothing crazy. And then I was like, oh, because at one point I think like all my pieces were downstairs and I had nothing to work on up here after work except for this. This is the Coffee Run sweater by Veronika Lindberg. It's from her Knits to Wear book. Right here, Coffee Run. I was like, well, let's get the raglan increases finished. Let's see if I can get to splitting the sleeves. I got the increases finished, but there's still several more rows I have to go before I can split for sleeves. So I did about that much. The yarn, oh, I should tell you, the yarn for the winter chunky jacket, that is the boucle, the bubbly boucle from Knit Picks. I hand dyed it myself. So I bought the undyed version of it and then dyed it myself. This yarn is Rowan Creative Focus worsted, which is discontinued. This is the color 1350 or just 350. It's like basil green, I think it was called. But it is a, what is this? Oh my gosh, where is the contents? Oh, 75% wool, 25% alpaca. It is like a lightly twisted single ply, so it's gonna probably pill pretty crazily. But yeah, so I'm done with the raglan increases. It's just I have to do a couple more rows before I can split for sleeves. So, and then it's just body knitting. So I'm not entirely sure what I want to do with this. Like if I want to prioritize this soon or if I want to, you know, whatnot. I need to be moving these stitch markers now that I'm filming a video so I can show you the progress I'm making. I always love seeing people's progress. Like, show me a literal visual of your progress. Now, I'm not going to go back and show you, like, now editing it to where it's like, oh, this is what it looked like before and this is what it looks like now. That I won't do, but at least, you know, that kind of is a little bit. So I moved it down. But yes, once it's split for sleeves, then it'll be easier. I might be able to transport this to work with me and work during the student's special time. That's what I typically do. Maybe I have other ones that I could take and work during specials, but this is an option once it's split for sleeves. So yeah, a little bit of this was worked on as well. Just need to get to the sleeve split. This one got worked on a bit. Ooh, is because I finished the collar. This is a Ciro sweater by Moreca Knits, I think. So the Ciro or Cairo, I think it's Ciro though, sweater. I finished the collar. I think the last time I showed you I was working on that. Finished it, sewed it down. Now, I've noticed with most patterns when you sew it down, they actually want you to like leave your stitches on the needles, pick up directly below, you know, do that thing and then knit the two together, bind off, and that. I'm really, really bad at that. Like my stitches slant quite a bit. I get really, really confused when I do that. So what I typically do, and it has worked out for me really well, is I will actually just bind off, fold it down, and then whip stitch it all the way around. I usually have better luck with that. It stays pretty stretchy. I also block this because I was getting nervous about these shoulders, about how tight they were, and I was literally worried. I don't think I've tried this on since I've blocked it, but I can tell everything has relaxed a lot better. And I've only put in probably 1.5 inches. Where's my thing? Oh no, 2 inches. I've put in 2 inches on the body. That's just all I did, because this is a very small gauge. So even though it is 2 strands of fingering plus 1 strand of mohair, my fingering weight is whole scarn super soft, so that's a very thin fingering that does bloom when blocked. So it fills out very nicely, but it is a small gauge, and they're on 4mm needles, I believe. These are 4mm. Yes. So it just feels smaller compared to everything else I've been working on. Everything else is like a freaking 5mm or bigger, 5.5. So slowly, and I have a long ways to go. So this is a potential I could take to work as well, except the yarn is on a cone, so that makes it a little bit more difficult to take with me. Maybe not, but yeah. So I've tested the blocking and all that other jazz. I don't like working on the body of projects. That is the worst part for me. Okay, so another one that I have is my DRK Everyday Cardi. It looks like I only worked on it one day, so I barely got any progress on it. And the Lena sweater by Petite Knit, that's also downstairs. It looks like I worked on it for 5 days. Again, probably not that much. Well, maybe like that much progress, 3 inches. But it's downstairs. I'm not going to grab it. It doesn't look any different than the last time I showed it. And I didn't want to grab it. The last thing that I'm working on, this is kind of my focus right now. This is the one that has been going to school work with me. And I have finally decided, hey, let's just focus on this piece because this one's closest to being done. So this is my focus piece. I'm hoping to have it done by the middle of this week. I would have loved to have it done this weekend, but I just did not. All right, I'm in the middle of a row. Lovely. This is the, it's gonna be hard to show because it's a cardigan. This is a zipper jacket by Petite Knit. I think the last time I showed you, I was working on the sleeves. So I've finished both sleeves. I've blocked it and then I'm down on the ribbing for the body. So the last time I showed you was again with the sleeves and the body was on hold. So this is where it was. Everything below that has not been blocked. And I have about, let's see, because I did work on this a little bit this morning in the vehicle. I have an inch and a half to do of ribbing. And then I can bind off. And then I think the last thing on there is zipper casing on the inside. So this is, I'll have to do zipper casing, I think on both sides. That shouldn't be a lot of work. And then I have to figure out how long of a zipper I need to purchase to sew in. So I would love to get the body done so I can order a zipper soon. Like today would be great if I could order it. The yarn that I am using is, this is Let Lopey. I forgot what gray this is, but this is one of the Let Lopey's colors. I harvested this from 2 other sweaters that I knit before. So this is all that I have left. I'm hoping this is enough. This is all that I have left. Yeah, I don't even have a swatch anywhere. And then I'm holding it double with this Knit Picks Aloft in the carbon colorway. I have plenty of this. I have another ball of it. It's just a Let Lopey. So I'm hoping I have enough to do an 1.5 inches of ribbing, bind off, and do the casings. We'll see. I don't think the casings are that important. It's just to hide the inner part of the zipper like this. Wait, is this even? Yeah. So this one is done in a different yarn. This one was knit in a different yarn. And it's not even sewn down, so you can still see. That's what you get with fast fashion. But yeah, this would be to hide that. So that'll be what the casing is on this. So yeah, this is my focus. If I wasn't in the middle of a row, I'd put it on so you could see. The sleeves are a perfect length. I think they hit mid-hand, which is wonderful. I am excited to see the length of it because on Petite Knit, it is, I think, mid-thigh on her. I am hoping mine is similar. Right now, the sleeves are hitting right where it is. Like, so when yeah, upper thigh. I know you can't see, sorry. Maybe along like this. Again, you can't see, so sorry. I am hoping for the best because this is a lovely piece. And after blocking it, it actually softened up so much. And I do think that the mohair is helping with the itchiness quite a bit. That was one thing that I couldn't wear this when it was the other, because it was just too itchy. I mean, it didn't help that it was the sweater I knit was too small, very tight. So that probably didn't help with the being comforted, because so many, doesn't know that I use Let Low Be quite a bit for her projects, but those are oversized projects. So I'm assuming that oversized is better for the itch factor. I don't know. We're going to test it out once this is finished. This will be really nice. So yeah, focus today. Get the body done would be amazing. Get the zipper. Oh, I am also unsure what kind of zipper to get. I don't think I want a silver zipper, but I also don't think I want a black zipper. So I'm like, I would love to get a zipper with like a fun pull, but also at the same time, those are hard to find, because I have to have the zipper that opens and closes like a jacket. It can't just be a, you know, it has to open and close all the way. So I've been looking around trying to find something. Do I want metal? Do I want plastic? I don't know yet. But unfortunately, you will not be able to give me your opinions, because I will hopefully be ordering this before the video's even, well, all right, let me think. I've done other things during the month, other crafty things. Okay, we'll start with this one. I decided to sign up for the Home Sun Collective Block of the Month quilt. This is by Lo and Behold Stitchery. I found her on Instagram a couple years ago. Absolutely love her quilt designs. I actually ordered a kit from her a year or two ago, and I still haven't made that quilt yet. I need to. I'm lazy. It's a beautiful like Nordic star quilt, gray and white. It's beautiful. I need to do it. But then she announced this, and I was like, oh, I love it. So what it is you could choose the PDF by itself, or you could buy the kit, and you're sent the fabric for each block each month. So I think it's from, well, this is just the beginning. I haven't gotten any fabric yet because we start in February. And I think it goes till September. So you could buy just the PDF if you want to do your own fabrics. You could get the pattern plus fabric for the top only, or you could do the pattern, the fabric for the top, the backing fabric, and the binding fabric. And I decided to do that. That's $50 a month, which is a little pricey, but I talked to a friend of mine, and she said, well, it really depends, especially if you're going to go get your own fabrics for these things. It could cost more, it could cost less. It was just easier to order the whole thing, because then I don't have to guess what kind of fabric to get. You know, I don't have to make those decisions. It's already made for me. So this is the main colorway. I actually chose the lakefront colorway, and that is going to look more like this. Blues and greens. I thought this was absolutely beautiful. So this is the original colorway. This is the lakefront colorway. There was a Christmas one, and then there was one that was more greens. While I love green, it just, for some reason, it just didn't hit right, and I'm really glad I didn't pick that one. So these are like the color key and how much fabric you're going to get for each one. So yeah, I'm really, really excited. I believe the first month one is going to be sent out soon, and then we'll start February 13th. And it says we'll do like the stripe blocks, checkerboard blocks, and diamond and a square unit. So this is what it looks like. So I'm really, really excited about this. This is something I'm going to be working on. They sent needles, which is amazing. It's always nice to have needles. And look at these cute stickers. I don't know what to put them on yet. But these cute stickers, and then just like a little, like a newsletter welcoming thing, and then like a supply list of things you need, and then optional supplies and stuff like that. Again, I'm really, really excited to do this. I have not quilted in so long. So it's been a really long time, and I thought this would be such a lovely thing to do. So yeah, there was something else I wanted to say. Oh, and you know what's awesome too is like there's this whole like, it almost looks like Facebook. Like there's this whole, I don't know if they call it like a community. Let's see here. Shoot. There's a thing, I accidentally deleted the email, and thankfully I was able to get it. But there's like a community website thing that almost looks like Facebook, where we can chat and post pictures, and there's going to be, oh, there's also like video tutorials. Like it has like, it's almost like a classroom setting kind of thing, like an online classroom where you can go in, and she's going to be doing little tutorials each month and whatnot. And I'm just like, this is so cool. So I'm excited. That is something that I will be working on soon. All right, sorry. The last thing that I've been working on, I got myself a new bookshelf, which I'll show you in a minute because I brought the books over real quick. Okay. So this craft popped up in my Instagram feed, and it really hooked me. Like I was like trying to resist temptation with this craft, but the way they made it look so easy and fun, and I tried to resisting it, and I think that lasted like a week before I got supplies and tried it myself. So I'm not going to show you my first one because it's not beautiful, it's not great, but I'll show you the other two I've done so far. But it is bookbinding, and it is a lot of fun, and it doesn't take up a lot of time. Money, maybe. It depends on what you want. I had some of the supplies here already, so that helped. But what you do is you take a paperback book like this, you rip off the cover, and you create it in a hardcover. So this is the exact same book, just in this beautiful hardcover. So it's still not perfect because my cutting machine, I probably need to buy a new blade for my silhouette, but this is what I have so far. So this is my second book I've done. The first, like I said, the first one did not turn out very well. There's a lot of mistakes and whatnot. But yeah, so, and then, you know, you have your book. Back. This design I found on Etsy. I was able to buy the whole series worth, and I thought it was absolutely beautiful. You can just create your own in like Canva. I've watched plenty of videos on how to do that. I've watched lots of videos on how to do this in general. I fell down a rabbit hole in January of just watching people rearrange their bookshelves. Like it was just a thing for me to watch for a while. And then I found a video of people completely, like I watched a video of a lady formatting a book to print, and then, you know, she prints them out and then she binds them, like binds them, and watched a couple of videos of how to do that. I'm like, I don't need to do that, but if ever. So a lot of them were the Manacle book by Sinew Lee, the lady who wrote Alchemized. The Manacle one, you can get it, you can print it and turn, like they would print it and turn it into an actual physical book, which is pretty cool. I probably won't do that because I'm not interested in fan fiction like that. I loved Alchemized. I really, really liked that book a lot, but I'm not going to read the fanfic version of it. It's just, that's not for me. You know what's crazy though? Back when the Harry Potter books were coming out, I can't remember which book it was, but for some reason I fell into a rabbit hole on the internet, baby internet, And I thought I found a copy of the next book, whichever book it was. It was probably like either the 6th or the 7th book. I thought had leaked on the internet, and I found it and I read it. And it was weird. It was like I can't remember if Ron died in it or Hermione died in it. Somebody died, one of the main characters, and I read the whole thing. And then when the book actually released and I got it, I realized that it wasn't real. So that's the only time I've probably ever read like real fan fiction. But other than that, it's not my jam. I will read like books that are loosely based, i.e. loosely fan fiction, because they're different. But yes, so here I have book 1 and I have done book 2 so far. So I have to do the rest of the series. Yeah, this one is a little bit, I might have put a little too much glue and it made it wrinkly, and there's a little bit of glue residue there, but other than that, the only thing left that would be fun, I think it's a little too late for me to do it, but sprayed edges, that'd be really fun to do. Again, I think I'm a little too late for that. That would be a step before adding the cover on. So as you can see, I obviously have multiple copies of this series. Yes. So these are the original ones that I purchased, and I did not want to rip the covers off of them. So I got lucky, and a couple weeks ago, somebody posted on Facebook that they were selling the whole set. For 40 bucks, it was a little bit overpriced, to be honest. I didn't pay 40 bucks for the brand new ones that I got, but I paid 40 bucks for them, and they had a little bit of damage already to them, so I wasn't as concerned about ripping the covers off. So I did that. So yeah, I still have, like I said, I still have the rest of the series to go. Ooh, gold would be nice. I should probably spray these in gold. I might be able to if I cover off the, you know, I might be able to. Anyways, so yeah, this is a new hobby of mine. These ones are just going to be for me because they're not beautiful. I don't know if I'll ever like sell, but, oh, here's the spines. But maybe gift, like a gift, find out what their favorite book is and then find it cheaply and rebind it into something beautiful like this. That could be fun. That could be fun. So yes. All right, now let's go show you my bookcase real quick. Since we're about 40 minutes in, I could probably end this just now. So I got rid of my old bookcase, and I was able to find these on Amazon. Not Amazon, oh my God. Marketplace, Facebook Marketplace. Let's see if I can get this any taller. For like 120 bucks. My treadmill's right in the way. Lovely. So these are all Billy bookcases from IKEA, but I found them on Marketplace. Got the normal size and then 2 of the little ones. And I put all my books on there, and I kind of did it a little on the fancy way, you know, because aesthetics, and I had been watching all the way down and all the way up to the top, you know. And obviously, as you can see, it's already full. So what I need to do is move this bad boy. Honestly, I really wish I could just get rid of this, but this is difficult to move. And then get another bookcase and put it right there. And I think that should be enough space. And I'm also debating if I should go put this back in alphabetical order. So when it was on my other bookcase, gosh dang, I really wish I had a better angle to show you the whole thing, but I do not. When I had it on the other bookcase, I had it in alphabetical order by author. And I think I really like that. It would mean there's more room, but I also like keeping everything nicely. So like I have Jennifer Armentrout, Sarah J. Maas going over into here too. I guess I could show you. So this is the first book I did. It's not perfect. I had a lot of, there's wiggly lines. I couldn't even do the back cover because my silhouette had struggled badly with cutting this out. This is a velvety. I had some issues with glue. I don't know. It was like a hot mess express, but I managed. It's falling apart a little bit because I didn't realize I needed to rip this page out too. So it's kind of falling apart a little bit, but I remind myself, it's the first one I did. It is okay. The spine though, I'm kind of excited about. Again, this is a file I found on Etsy that I paid for. The spines of all the books together make one giant picture. So maybe one day, I don't think I'll use these ones though. If I could buy another set for inexpensive, then maybe I would do that. I have 2 sets of Game of Thrones. This is my new set, new covers, the leather bound covers that I got several years ago. Twilight, Rachel Gillig's, you know, the one dark window, 2 dark, you know, Harry Potter down there, and Scythe. I have, is that how that's pronounced? I don't know how to pronounce that. I think it's Scythe. That's down at the bottom. You can't see it. I love that. And then just randos. Just random. And at the bottom, what you can't see is just like the last 2 shelves, bottom rows are kind of, other than the Harry Potter, are just like random. Because I don't know what to do. I don't know what to do. I'm also thinking like this side could be all young adult. And then the rest of it could be, I don't know, the other way. I want to keep series together. And I don't have a lot of different genres to do it like that. Like some people do. They'll have like one side totally fantasy and then thriller and romance. I don't read romance. I don't like straight romance. I like fantasy. I don't mind thriller. I have only a handful of thriller. I just prefer fantasy. It's just what I like. So, and young adult, but yes, this is what I have, and it's beautiful, and it makes me happy to look at. It's my little corner of books. I also have a book bingo going on right now. I created myself a little book bingo for my TBRs. I've already read The Night Circus, which I just finished the other day. It was okay. It wasn't, I was confused most of the time, but I didn't hate it. And then I just started A Discovery of Witches 2 nights ago. I was a little nervous to start that. I was worried that it was going to be just not my style, but everybody is saying that they really, really loved it. So I'm giving it a chance. I just have all the books from my thing on a jar right here. An old candle jar. And then I just pull from there when it is time. My little book bingo was like I was like, if I get a bingo, I could buy myself a book. I've probably bought over 50 books since. You know, I don't know how many books I've bought this month. Quite a few. You know what I need to do? I need to stop putting them on the shelf until I can show people how many books I got each month. Because I just got a box of books today. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, I got 8 books just today. I got the Sarah J. Maas Court of Thorns and Roses set this month. I got the new Game of Thrones covers this month. And I also got the whole Shatter Me series this month. That's 6 books, or at least I have 6 books of them. And then Carnival, the 8, the 5. Yeah. I bought a lot of books. So the bingo isn't really helping with that. It is what it is, right? But yes, book collecting has become a hobby of mine. My daughter's, did I say that? She's bedazzling. My daughter really wanted to bedazzle a book for me. And so I decided to just order Twilight, the first book, and in the normal like cover. And she's bedazzling that for me. So that will go on the shelf as soon as she is done. But what else book do I really want? I know I have like a bunch of books that I really, really want to get, and I can't remember exactly what they are. I know one that people kept talking about. I believe it came out in 2024. It's called The Ascended, and people talking about it like crazy. I can't find it anywhere. Like, I mean, I haven't checked in a week, but like Amazon stopped selling it. I'm like, I really want to read this book. Why is it not anywhere? What happened? So I'm just like, but yeah, I think obviously continuing a series like A Spark of the Everflame. I've already read all 3 of these books, but I need to get the 4th one. And then when the 5th one comes out, I've already read the 3rd one as well, but I need to get it for the collection. And then I'd like to get the 4th one when it comes out. The next Night in the Moth book. This was really good. I enjoyed this a lot. Can't wait for that next book to come out. Oh, the second book in this series, or whatever it is, the Shield of Sparrows. I really like this book. I listened to the audiobook of this. I really, really liked it. I can't wait for book 2. Plus these covers, the art is so beautiful. That's something that gets me every time. Nothing on the inside. Anyways. This is a new thing for me. Book collecting. So yeah. What you think? All right, thank you for sticking around and listening to me babble about the things that I like. But I guess it is my channel, right? I'm allowed to. Oh, don't you love my Game of Thrones wall? I don't know if you've ever seen that. I actually have a Game of Thrones wall because I love Game of Thrones so much. But I'm afraid to rewatch it. Why? Because I'm afraid I'm going to find flaws. I mean, obviously the whole last season was nothing but flaws, but I'm afraid to be disappointed if I rewatch it. So I'm kind of avoiding it. But yeah, I have medal, not this one. This one is not Game of Thrones. Those Game of Thrones medals from the Conqueror Challenge thingies. Somebody cross-stitched those. Daenerys and Jon Snow. I cross-stitched Jon Snow and Ghost. That was a puzzle. I have a puzzle of Westeros, and I took the puzzle poster and hung it up. All my mini figurines. I actually have a bunch of Funko Pops up there of Game of Thrones too. Some mini ones, and then a diamond painting of Daenerys that my mother purchased for me years ago. It's Mother of Dragons. Yeah, I like Game of Thrones a lot. I have read the books too. It took me about 2 years to read the books, but I have read the books. So I feel like a legit fan. Oh, I know what other set. I need the Witcher set. I need that in my life. I need the Witcher set on my shelf. I want to read those so bad. So anyways, I'm going to go ahead and let you go. I'm going to get back to knitting. And I hope you have a wonderful day, week, month. I might try to check in mid-month. I'm not sure. But I definitely want to do the monthly recap type thingamabobs. So we'll see how it goes. I don't want to burn myself out again making videos. So we will see. Yeah, I'll have projects. I'll have quilting. I'll have all sorts of stuff to show you. So yes, I will see you later.